Okay, good evening. I'll give you the injury updates that we have. We'll go one at a time here. So Jordan Phillips is improving. Matt Prater, he's in the same boat. Jordan Poyer tweaked his hamstring day-to-day. He'll be day-to-day. Daquan Jones also day-to-day, as is Josh Allen. DQ has a calf. Josh has a foot. And then Shaq Thompson has a neck. He'll be day-to-day as well. That's all I have.
Do you expect, I know you said Josh is day-to-day, do you expect that to limit him, like, during the practice week at all, or?
Don't know yet.
Okay.
There's a chance it does. We'll see. We're going to practice a little bit tomorrow based on availability. We got a number of guys that are not going to be able to practice. We'll see how Josh shows up tomorrow and how he's feeling.
He obviously got x-rays. Does he need to do any further testing?
Not that I'm aware of.
Did it swell up or anything? Was there any setbacks overnight or anything?
No, just sore.
And just to clear, there is the anticipation he will be available for this weekend?
As far as I'm aware, yes.
Obviously, hoping that everything goes well with him throughout the week, but Shane Buechele gets an opportunity in Kansas City. First, are you excited for him and that opportunity, and what will that look like this week in terms of maybe looking at other quarterbacks to add?
Yeah, we'll look into that part in terms of adding another quarterback. You know, I think more than anything, I'm happy for Shane. He and his family, they've been with us and done a phenomenal job, and have a ton of respect and love and admiration for Shane.
Sean, after the game yesterday, and even after the New England game, players kept saying just the fact that winning at this time of the year matters the most. Doesn't matter the mistakes that you make in the game. As a coach, how do you frame your messaging between games at this time of the year to make sure that guys aren't riding the highs, aren't riding the lows, and aren't getting too caught up in a bad quarter, a bad half, a bad drive, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean it's they've got it right. You want to make sure that you're winning games all the while, week to week, that we're improving as a football team, and we're being honest with ourselves of, yes, we do have quite a bit of work to do and things to work on. So, and our players are, they're wired that way. They know that it wasn't all perfect yesterday, and it wasn't the week before either. And so they come to work every day extremely focused and intent on trying to improve. So I think that's the key to all this is big picture perspective, yet at the same time just being present day to day and how we can improve as a team.
Sean, what went into the decision to have Keon inactive yesterday?
Yeah, just a combination of receivers offensively that we wanted up, and then obviously McCole was moved into the 5 spot there for primarily special teams purposes, but also a little bit of receiver as well.
Sean, along the same lines, second straight week for Gabe being down. Is there any amount of are you resting because he went 0 to 100 on it with his knee when you brought him back? So is there any amount of that to that?
No. It's just more so offensive game planning that's in play, and Gabe, like Keon, we have confidence in both of those guys, and their opportunity will come up, and they'll be ready.
How did you feel like McCole did yesterday? I know only 2 snaps. But.
Yeah, limited samples, so it was good to have him back out there. And if you remember several weeks ago when he first went out there and made a big splash, and then unfortunately went down. So just kind of dipping our toe in this past week and getting him going again a little bit here.
I know Khalil went out for the last punt return. Why was it Khalil and not McCole?
Just coach's choice, the wind and whatnot, and felt like, McCole had fielded some in the game. I mean, I think he had 1 in the game, and then, Khalil had fielded quite a few in the games leading up to that game. So just wanted at that point in the game to secure the catch and get the ball back at that point, and didn't feel like it was the right situation at that point for us.
Sean, you were asked after the game about the production from the wide receiver group, possibly excluding Khalil, so the boundary receivers mostly. Now that you've had a chance to watch it back, how would you review that? And maybe just not just from this game, but here over maybe the last stretch month or so from that group.
Yeah, Jay, it's a fair question and an accurate question. You know, we haven't had probably the production that we'd all would want. You know, I'm sure that those guys would say the same. And nobody works harder. That group is a group of hardworking guys. And you know, I know specifically the game plan yesterday. You know, you hold the ball too long against that defensive line and Myles Garrett, and you're going to feel it, right? So I thought Joe and the offensive staff did a great job with the game plan. The results in the first half showed that, and so. But there's always things we can work on as we move forward as a football team. Offensively, that's going to be an important part of us as we move forward here. It's something that we have to improve on here.
Where are you, last week and it was just in reference to the run defense, but I'm thinking of overall, you talked about having to be on both sides of the spectrum when it came to the good and the bad. Overall, when it comes to whether it's the receiver question, the run defense question, just where is this team at? Where would you assess this team at this point of the season with the playoffs, you know, just looming ahead?
Yeah, I think we're still we're doing some good things. Every week we improve in a specific area that we want to improve on. But that, again, doesn't mean we're a finished product. There's certain things defensively. You guys are asking about the areas on the offensive side. Special teams no different. So it's, you know, you want to be focused in on what we're trying to get done. Want to be focused in on what the challenge is this week for us and the opponent that we have in front of us. And you know, they're the world champs, defending world champs, and we have to continue to improve and finding different ways to do that. You know, as I mentioned before, spinning the dial to, hey, you know, how are we going to improve in this area of our team overall? What makes us more sustainable? You know, through the course of winning. To win one week is good, but how do you sustain it? That's what we're trying to make sure that we're trying to find the answers to that as we move forward here.
I know it's tough to onboard a new player at this stage of the season, but what's your level of confidence that Matthew Judon can help you guys, you know, in the next couple of weeks here?
Yeah, we'll see. You know, he went through his year down in Miami, and you know, we had an opportunity to get him onto our practice squad here. We'll see how it goes. You know, we'll just take it one day at a time. He needs to learn, you know, the system and everything, and certainly have a certain level of respect for what he's been able to do to this point in his career.
Does it help that, you know, with Morgan and Shaq, they were both kind of off the street, they weren't really playing all that much and practicing? Does it help that Matt has gone through training camp, has gone through the season to potentially be ready quicker than those guys would have been?
Yeah, perhaps. Again, it's just trying to evaluate where he's at and what we need, and you know, at this point, it helps the competitive nature of our practice squad to this point. So he's only been here, you know, call it a day, if you look at it from just being Saturday. So we're looking forward to working together.
Is there an update, any timeline on Ed Oliver?
No, don't have anything for you.
Samuel,
No, don't have anything.
are you hopeful that he can return hopefully at some point this season, or you don't know?
That is a possibility. I couldn't tell you when that's going to happen. Every week we get a little bit closer to that, but no definitive date at this point when we would open that window.
And Joby, what went into that decision yesterday? And I guess overall, you know, he came back at week 7 after the suspension. What have you seen from him, and what went into the decision, I guess, to start?
Yeah, he's done some good things. It's not a whole lot different than the wide receiver position. You know, we're trying to find the right combination. You guys know we had TJ was inside early in the year. Then he went outside with some of the injuries to the defensive end position. Felt like we wanted to move him back inside this week. We put Andre Jones back, you know, not back, but in at defensive end. So again, just spinning the dial, trying to find the best lineups we can here.
Coach, over the last few weeks, your veterans on defense have really stepped up. Trey's had some good plays. Matt Milano's strung together a few games. Jordan Poyer has an interception yesterday. It being week 16, nobody's 100%. What has allowed some of your older players to play so well at this point in the season?
They probably drive down to the Fountain of Youth that's located down there at Lake Erie and dip their toe in the water, I think, every week. It's great to see. It really is. Those guys have made a huge impact on our organization for years now, and now to have some of those guys back, it's fun to watch. I mean, Jordan's interception yesterday brought a smile to my face. You know, he works extremely hard. He cares about this organization. He cares about his teammates, and I'm sure Micah was smiling somewhere watching it, you know, too. So I think that's pretty special.
Where does James Cook really taking this to another level this year, Sean?
Yeah, just I would say the week-to-week intensity is even different than last year. He had some big games last year, but the look in his eye each week, the intensity that he shows up with, it's really been influential on our whole football team. The guys see that, and that's kind of a little bit unique for a running back position player to have that type of impact on the whole team, and so it's been really good to see. Very few people work harder than him, and I mean, he's on the sideline going over to the defensive guys and encouraging them and challenging them, and they're kind of doing the same. Josh is doing the same, and that's leadership at the highest level.
Terrell Bernard, obviously gritty player. He's gone through a couple injuries this year, but I mean, it just hasn't looked the same because he set a pretty high standard the first couple of years that he was in the job. Is that fair to start with? And what did you see out of him watching the tape back?
From yesterday's game? Yeah. You know, TB's been out of the lineup due to injury, I don't know, the last 3 weeks, give or take. I may have missed a week or so there, but nobody wants to play more than he does. He's a true warrior, one of our toughest players. And to your point, he has been dinged up. And so, you know, him getting fresh, I think, helps. That's when he's at his best, like any player. It's when he moves the best. So he's one of the biggest leaders we have on defense, and you know, I thought yesterday did some good things for us, and you know, he would tell you that there's some certain plays he wants back as well. So keeping him fresh is important for us as we move forward here.
I know it's not the end goal, and there's so many other goals ahead, but did you take time, or do you have time to reflect on the fact that you're one of 5 teams now to have won 11 games, 6 straight seasons in the NFL? Is there something to take into account?
Gratitude, right? Gratitude. You know, it's rare that you can do that 1 year, let alone sustain it. You know, you see teams that have been in the conversation, I'll call it year to year, and we're one of them, right? And we all have our goals in mind, and we don't lose sight of those at all. But you do take a second to just say, hey, you know, how special it is and how grateful we all are to be part of the consistent nature of our football team and how we've won. You see teams who have been up there with us, and some of those are falling off, and how hard it is to sustain it, even for teams that, you know, have been in a dynasty type of situation almost. So it's pretty special.